Listen well, brother. I'm listening.
If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
There can be only one.
I'll answer the question. You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
Greetings, one and all, and welcome to Thirsty Thursday here on Mornings of Mischief. The week is almost at an end. We are almost to closing time. And look at all the crazy shit that's going on. Can you believe any of this? Can you believe this? You got comic book creators left and right going after each other. You got drama in the wings. D&D's going to sell. Why are they going to sell? Why would they sell D&D? Because they made a whole bunch of shit. They've made garbage. They have made absolute total garbage and tried to beat it to you on a silver platter and said, here, look, this is great. Greatness in the making. Look at all this bullshit we've done. Look at all the complicated crap. Look how we've overloaded you with, well, you could have this character in a wheelchair going down this blah, 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 but you can't do this. Orcs aren't bad. They're just misunderstood. Demons aren't evil. They just were put in a bad situation. My God, man. Dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria. Daryl the Derelict. Good morning, my friend. Greetings, program. Guys, if you haven't checked out Daryl the Derelict and Jester's Darth Arlena over on the back tube, go check them out. Daryl's back with a vengeance. He's kicking ass. He's taking names. He's telling babies they can't have their lollipops. Go and check him out. Snacks and Friends, what is up? Good morning, Snacks and Friends. The Green Goblin is here. How are you doing, my friend? Good morning. Snacks is up in the morning. It's good to see you. It is good to see you. Walter Muskie, just curious, would a movie of a modern comic of Magnus Robot Fighter work? If they did it right, if they respected the IP, but no one seems to want to respect the IP these days. No one cares. It's all about DEI and diversity and inclusion and all this other bullshit. They don't care if it's good or not. They only care if they've clicked the right boxes that will approve them for continued service. And guess what? It is failing. People are selling. No one wants this bullshit anymore. They just want to have fun. Who sits down at a table with friends and goes, I would like to make the most epic, fun, diversity and inclusion game of Dungeons and Dragons ever. My character will be a orc that goes by they, them, but also wears a dress, and is paraplegic, so they're in a wheelchair. Who does that? Who does that? No one does that. Except for these crazies. And you know what? They aren't buying the books. They aren't buying the toys. They aren't buying the products. They aren't buying shit. They aren't paying for it. So you know what I say? Let them burn. I say let them burn. And the same goes for anyone that goes out and says, you know what? I want to bring you guys a product. I want to bring you guys a product. It's going to be a little while before it's out, but I'm going to bring you guys a product, and then sits on Twitter all day and jerks it because they're starting shit with other people. Don't have time for it. Don't have the inclination for it. You know what? If you aren't going to finish your shit and deliver a product, when you sit there and you want to run your mouth on Twitter about bullshit, I don't have time for you. It's that simple. That's what it comes down to. Either you are a businessman and you are looking to provide a product that will entertain people and you work on that product, or you sit there and run your mouth and talk shit left and right and run your mouth. Yeah, it boggles the effing mind. If you are a businessman, be a businessman. Act like a damn businessman. If you want people to buy your product, provide a good product, shut the hell up, get out of the way, and let them buy your product. I am sick and tired of this chirpsy, erpsy, upside down bullshit that I see left and right from people that need to be focusing on their work and providing their product instead of jerking it to drama online. I'm not going to put up with it. I'm not going to deal with it. You lost focus, and you lost my respect, and you lost my money. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Darth Arlena says, I hate how everyone likes to say, I need to see myself in this. I need to see myself. I've got to see me. I've got to put myself in the role. It's not what Captain America would do. It's what I would do if I had the shield. I recall seeing myself in the morals and values of the character, regardless of what they look like. What the fuck is wrong with people? Do you know why people loved Cap? You know why people loved Captain America? Because he acted like Captain America. He acted like Steve Rogers until the end, until the very end, when he acted like a selfish little spoiled bitch. Cap wouldn't have done that. Cap would have kept being Cap. Why? Because the world needs Cap. The world doesn't need an 80-year-old rundown guy that got cucked 40 years ago. That's what they don't need. They don't need that. They need hope. They need future. They need something to believe in. Grumpy old Marine vet over on Rumble with the $10 Rumble rant. What is up, brother? What is up, Dean? Loki, you mean that me making a trans female dwarf, berserker, god, blah, 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 in a chainmail thong cannot happen? If you want to, if that's what you want to do, but by God, make it make sense. Did they have all that to do all that? Is he a confused orc? Is he confused? Does he not know what's going on? will eventually go, "No, I want to be Mandiorc," and put on the armor with the berserker axe and go to town swinging. Nobody wants to do that shit unless it's a joke. Unless you're trying to drive your DM up a wall. I've seen it, but nobody wants to do that seriously. They want to make it a joke. God help me. Thank you so much, Dean, for your $10 Rumble rant. Brother, you guys keep the fires burning bright here in Valhalla. And this one is just for you, brother. Skull!
Spartans! What is your profession?
You think the whole world lost its damn mind. That's what you think. Spartan Flash Century, you could make all that back in the old days, but you really had to piss off the DM and the level 20 caster who had the polymorph addiction. That's true. That's true. Spartan Flash right there. You really could. You could do that. But yeah. It's the betterment of humanity to see people greater than you are and aspire to improve themselves. It is stagnation and folly to only aspire to validate one's own weakness. Who here, raise a hand. Raise a hand. Who here played the new Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League? I'm not raising my hand. I've seen all the video. I've seen what they did to him. I've seen how they pissed on Flash. Who called that one? I see how they shot Batman in the eye. Who called that one months ago? Who got banned? Who got banned from forums for being like, what the hell, man? What are you doing? You piss on Flash and you shoot Batman in the eye? Banned for spoilers. And I was like, uh-huh. Uh-huh. Now I see where we're going here. Now I see what we've done. The people are already blaming Sweet Baby. Oh, it's Sweet Baby. Sweet Baby did it. No, WB did it. They approved it. The game developers did it. They approved it. Sweet Baby are selling themselves as story fixers and game fixers. And if you want to work with that, it's your fault. If you want to work with Sweet Baby and let Sweet Baby into your business and let them take over your project, that is your fault. Oh, well, they got Sweet Baby involved, so it's all Sweet Baby's fault. No, it is their fault. It is their fault. Do not let them put this off on a company that is known for this shit. It is their fault. Guess what? If you guys came on and Sweet Baby was running my show, that's my fault. That's on me. That is my mistake. Sweet Baby is a way they are pushing their agenda. And it's lovely that, oh, well, we'll blame Sweet Baby. We won't blame Shit Steady for making the mistake of using Sweet Baby. It's Shit Steady's fault. They screwed it up. They approved this shit. They said, okay. And I am sick and tired of hearing people say, oh my God, it makes sense. It's in character. They should have never done it in the first place. Oh, Boomerang peed on Flash. That was like, that's a Boomerang thing to do. Considering it's Ezra Miller's Flash, I'm not surprised, but still, he'd probably get off on it. Jester's Darth Arlena over on Rumble with a $5 Rumble rant. Thank you so much, Jester's Darth Arlena. They're all losing money because none of us care about this shit. Burn it the fuck down. That is what we are talking about. Let it burn. We're the ones who cared about this shit. We're the ones who paid money for it. We're the ones who kept them alive when no one wanted. Remember when Wizards of the Coast was closing everything? They didn't have shit. They were closing all their stores. You couldn't find D&D anywhere. We're the ones who kept that alive by finding ways to buy it, by finding stores to go and purchase it, by going out and getting it. We are the ones that kept it alive. And now they're like, oh, well, doesn't matter anymore because we already got your money. Kiss my ass. We're going to burn it down. Skull! And that's what I'm talking about. Anyone named Sweet Baby running Loki's show and is an automatic I blame Mexican Iron Man. Thank you, Shump. Thank you, Shump. Ghost Rider, I was told I was just a man baby. Bullshit. When I warned people what was coming. I worked with the people that pitched this shit. Can't wait to see how hard this burns. Everywhere you look, this is what you are surrounded by. You've got to find good IPs that people actually care about, because guess what? When they care about the IP, when they love it, when they really love it, they go, I don't want anything bad to happen to it. Wow. Wow, look at that. But you don't have that. You know why? You know why He-Man fell so hard? Kevin Smith's He-Man fell so hard? Because he didn't fucking care about it. And you can say whatever you want about, oh my God, Loki, the last 5 episodes were so good. And He-Man was so great. And they did this with Tila and da-da-da-da-da. He fucked up. He didn't care. He screwed it up. And now he wants to make amends by coming out with 5 episodes that flips the script. And he lied about it. Moods of Madness. Yes, he lied about it. He lied to your faces. He said, no, we're not doing this. And it's exactly what he did. It's exactly what he did. If he cared about it, this shit wouldn't happen. If they cared about the Marvel characters you know and love, Disney wouldn't have chopped it up and screwed it up. If they cared about putting Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, and Harrison Ford on screen at the same time, they would have done it. It's not that they didn't have the chance. They would have done it. And you never, ever see it. Why? Because they didn't give a shit about what came before, and they didn't give a shit about the things you loved about it. You're all just big man babies crying, boo, boo, you made this and it sucks and da 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 da. That's the way they want the world to see you. Because they don't give a shit about what they have. They just want to make money, and they fucked it up. They thought, well, we'll sell it as something new, and we'll sell it to a new generation. And that even the new generation, besides the fucking weird ones that are Raylos, turned their back on it and said no. No. Ask the Snow Kid. Ask Snowdub's little clone. What's up? He was like, no. That kid loved Star Wars. It was da na 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 na. And now he's like, why? Because there's no respect for the IP. How do you know that, Loki? Because they changed it. They changed it. Instead of honoring what came before, instead of honoring the people, could you imagine if at the end of TFA, Han, Leia, and Luke came together in a hug, and you heard that music kicked in, da-na, da-na, na, 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 and that's how they like panned out from that da na 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 da da na na na, and it was Luke and Leia and Han hugging for the first time in like a decade. For them, for us, it was like, you know, 30 fucking years. But could you imagine? Could you imagine the hype? And you know what they did? They had Mark Hamill throw a lightsaber over his shoulder and go, doesn't matter. None of it matters. That is what they felt about the entire thing. That is what they felt about the whole epping trilogy. Was I'll just throw my lightsaber. This is the fandom. This is everything you love. This is everything you love about Star Wars. And I'm going to throw it over my shoulder and I'm going to walk away from it because it doesn't mean a goddamn thing. That is what Kevin Smith did with He-Man. That is what Rocksteady has done with the Justice League, with the Arkhamverse, with Arkham Batman. That is what Paramount has done with Star Trek. That is what Paramount has done with Star Trek. They've thrown it over their shoulder. Can you believe this? There's a fucking gender trigger warning for Where No Man Has Gone Before. A fucking gender trigger warning for Where No Man Has Gone Before. When you start up the episode, all right, this is what I expect. You know, I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna get my butt ready. I got my popcorn. I got my sody pop. I've got everything ready. Let's watch Where No Man Has Gone Before. Click, and instead of dun 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 dun, dun you get warning. This show is fucked. And there's a trigger warning now because it says man in the title of the episode. Are you telling me that you're so boo-hoo fucking sensitive that you've got to have a trigger warning because of a word in the title of the episode? There is a word for the title of the episode. Mankind. Do you know what mankind is? Mankind is all of us. Oh my God, we can't say that anymore. We can't say mankind. Kiss my fat white ass. I am sick and tired of the disrespect for William Shatner. I am sick and tired of the disrespect for the creators of Star Trek. I am sick and tired of the disrespect of the characters we know and the characters we love. Do you know what Picard season 1 and 2 was? It was pissing all over everything that made Star Trek great. Was season 3 a better show? It's what it should have been from the beginning. I could have dealt with that. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't like, oh my God, this is the best shit ever. But at least the camaraderie between the cast was there. That's what we wanted. We wanted to see Picard and Riker and Worf and Geordi. We wanted to see everybody come together, reunite, and go on a last adventure. That's what we wanted. That's what we expected. And they pissed all over everything that came before it. Strange New Worlds is a fucking joke. Star Trek itself is a fucking joke. And Shatner is like, it's their worst. Shatner is their worst memory. Why? Because he did things his way. He was a man's man, and they absolutely hate it. That thing Mexican Iron Man says when he's like, "This was my TV dad. This was my on TV role model. This is the person I wanted to be when I grew up." They hate that. They hate that. They're scared of that. Because it's a constant reminder that they suck and he's great. Do you want to know why they leave him out of the promo material? because he's the best goddamn captain there ever was. Yeah, for me personally, Cisco, for right now, until they get their shit together, Cisco, sorry, brother. I love you. You've always been my favorite captain, but you're going to have to take a step down because Kirk's going up to number 1 until all this shit stops. Period. End of discussion. Until they fix this shit, Shat's my number 1 captain, and that's it. Kirk's the best. I've said over and over again, I absolutely love Cisco because I can totally relate to him. When he's sitting there at the punching bag and he's like, no, was he a changeling infiltrator? No, he was just a man. That's what's going on with me right now. That is why I see eye to eye with Cisco, and he's my favorite captain. But you know what, Cisco? You're going to have to take a step down for a little bit because Shat's going up because of the total disrespect and bullshit they have shown to Captain James Tiberius Kirk. And if anybody wants to have a problem with that, by all means, come up here and have a problem with that. I am sick and freaking tired of watching this bullshit. I am sick and freaking tired of watching them disrespect people from ages past. I am sick of the revisionist bullshit. I am sick of the rewrites. I am sick of the retellings. I'm sick of the soft reboots. I'm sick of all of it. Either come out and say, we're going to completely trash this because we hate it. Because we hate what it stood for in the 80s and the 70s and the 60s and the 90s, whatever. Or don't do it. Oh, we've got a large group of people that absolutely love the original IP, and we will honor it in all the ways we can while bringing a new level of DEI because we need to do it for today's audience. Suck my balls. Kiss my ass. You know what? We've got 2 words for you. Suck it! Because all of that bullshit is bullshit. Oh, I grew up watching it and I love it so much. Then why did you piss all over it? Why did you piss all over it if you love it so much? Because it needs to be changed to something for today's modern day audience. Guess what? Today's modern day audience doesn't watch your shit. They watch TikTok. They watch bullshit. They don't watch your show. They don't care about your show. You're not going to get another generation to love it by pissing all over it. You're going to get the original generation that watched it to watch it and then pass it on because it's so goddamn good. That's what you're going to get. You want to know why? A lot of, you know what? I was talking to this kid the other day and he was like, do you watch the Batman show? And I'm like, what Batman show? The cartoon. And I was like, he's too little. He can't be talking about the animated series. And he goes, the one that's like, and I'm like, the animated series? And he goes, yeah. And I was like, that Joker talks like this? And he goes, oh. And I was like, yeah, that's right, kitty. He knew. Why did he know? Because he had someone showing him the original show. Because they love it so much. Guess what? The only way it gets passed down is if another generation loved it. Is if it changed the ideas and aspects of one generation and they pass it on to the next. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what makes it timeless. When you start passing it down because it was so damn good to the next generation. And they, in turn, pass it down to the generation after that. And the generation after that. You know what's funny? My kid loves Transformers. Can't stand a lot of the new shit. But she'll go back and she'll watch the original series. She'll go back and she'll watch the animated film, Transformers the movie from the 80s. And she loves it. And she talks about it all the time. That's like her world. She loves it. That and cooking are the two things she loves absolutely more than anything. It's Transformers and cooking. And thank God I introduced her to Transformers. Long live the Batman. Ghost Rider. Long live the Batman. I grew up on X-Men, Batman animated series, Spider-Man, Justice League. You bet I'll be passing those down. Why? Because they were so damn good. You know what they're going to pass down? They're going to pass down their favorite collection of TikToks. That's what they're going to pass down. Unless we show them the original shit and show them how good it was. Because you have an entire generation of producers and writers that want to erase what you love. Do you know why physical media is going to disappear? So they can change it. So they can alter it and change it. Do you know why there's a trigger warning right now for Star Trek where no man has gone before? Because they're going to change it. And they're going to put where no one has gone before. And they'll change the name of the episode. They'll change it for modern day audiences. Even though they say no one modern day, no one today watches the original series. That's what they say. If no one today watches the original series, why are you putting trigger warnings in where no man has gone before? Because it says man in the name of the episode. Why are you doing that? There will come a time where they go, we've got to change everything. We can't just allow this to continue. And they're going to change it. And they're going to change it for the worse. And you won't have physical copies to go, but that's not the way it was. Oh, yes, it is. It's the way it always was. That's what you'll get. They'll normalize it. They'll say this is the way it always was. You're misremembering, Grandpa. You're misremembering, Dad. This is the way it always was. Because they don't want you to have it. They want to incorporate their DEI and their bullshit into everything, including what has come before. And do you know what they'll call it? Do you know what they'll call it? They'll call it improvements, mandatory improvements to fix problems, to fix the problems that existed in the past. And then they'll erase the fact that they ever did it. It'll be there and it'll be changed, but they'll erase the fact that they ever did. That way, no one in the future can go, oh my God, they altered this. I've watched this my whole life. And I had no idea that it wasn't the way it originally was. Just like what George Lucas did. Just like what George Lucas did to the original trilogy. There's going to be a whole generation of kids that have no idea. They just think that's the way it always was. This is the way it came out. They don't know any better. I got asked once, how did they do that back then? And I said they didn't. He edited it and put a whole bunch of extra shit in it right before the sequel trilogy came out. And my kid went, oh, why? It's George Lucas, man. It's George Lucas. It's what he wanted to do. But no one would have ever imagined that you couldn't get the original. No one would have ever imagined that you would never be able to get the original. That it would take people working behind the scenes, regular people, not people that work for Lucas, regular people doing despecialized editions and giving them out. Here, take it. It's the despecialized edition. No one would ever have thought that's what it would come to. Right after they change that, they'll change Archer saying no man as well, even though Enterprise came after Voyager. It was canonically set before TOS and honored it. Yes, in the last episode of Enterprise, Archer says where no man has gone before. It's true. And they'll change it. They'll change it. I remember how pissed my dad was when they said where no one had gone before in TNG. He's like, there's no reason to do that. It's all bullshittery. It's all bullshittery. Star Wars and Empire special editions were good with the add-ins, but Jedi sucked. He had to get it. I honestly believe he had to get it done, and he had to get it done quick. He had to get it done quick because he was running out of time. Because he wanted them out before Phantom Menace came out. I got a gift. I got a gift the other day. I got episode 1, 2, and 3, and episode 4, 5, and 6, Shakespearean edition. I was like, okay, I'll read them, but they're plays. They're plays. So, well, I like Lucas and credit him a lot. He has plenty of faults, this being one of them. It's the fans that keep propping everything up. Look at Project 4K77. It is. It's the fans that keep everything going. There was a time where Lucas didn't come out with shit. It was books and games. It was the books and the games that kept it afloat. It's what paid for everything. Roddenberry flew 84 combat missions at the controls of B-24, was an airline pilot, a cop, and then finally a writer. The new gen orders from Uber Eats. I can't deny that. I can't deny that. I have nothing to foil that against. I have nothing to foil that against. I have those, Loki. It's interesting. It's interesting. I'm just gonna say that because they're plays, and you could like put on a Shakespearean play with your little Star Wars Shakespeare edition books. How long before they change one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind? They'll just erase it, just like they've erased the statues, just like they've erased heroes, just like they've erased names off of schools. I'm not going to get too political here, but they want it all gone. They want it all gone, and they want it all replaced. Because if they can do that, they can get rid of all the statues. They took a statue of Thomas fucking Jefferson down. One of the founding fathers of this country. How long before they drag Abraham Lincoln off his chair at the memorial and pull him down and put something else there? How long? They don't care. And this is the problem. They don't care. It's the exact same problem with Kevin Smith and all these other fucks that just don't care. They don't care what the person really stood for. They only care that they look progressive. They only care that they look like they support DEI. They only care that they look like they're better than other people. That's all they care about. Loki, at the end of the Undiscovered Country, Shatner himself finished with where no man, where no one has gone before, just to continue the change they made for TNG. You got the preview of TNG when you went and saw that movie. I know, I went and saw it like 3 times. So you got the preview for TNG at the beginning of Undiscovered Country. They actually had a commercial. I think that was the first preview for a TV show I ever saw in a movie theater. I think that was the very first one because it was Star Trek. So of course, you know what? Hey, throw this ad in there for our new TV show while you've got Star Trek 6 up playing. Okay. The Jefferson statue had been there for 187 years and they removed it because they don't care. There is no respect. You have to understand that you're dealing with people that have absolutely no respect for any of this, and they have absolutely no respect for you as a fan. They do not care. They do not want you to watch. They don't want you to watch because they don't want to be judged by the people that know the real shit, that love the IP. They want you gone. They want you out of the way. They want people to think this is the only thing that ever happened. If you're going to watch Star Trek, don't watch the original series. Don't watch TNG. Don't watch DS9. Watch just the new shit because that's all that matters. That's why we started over. That's why we started with Discovery. That's why we went on to Strange New Worlds to continue what we started in Discovery. And guess what? Neither one of them work. Neither one of them are enjoyable. Neither one of them people give a shit about. Except for the crazies. Loki, remember the scene in Ultron where Stark has that vision of the future? Thanos and his world over the corpses of the heroes in a wasteland. That's what these people want in reality. And that is what they want. They want villainry to succeed. They want the bad guys to win. And they want you to love it. They are pushing a social order nobody wants. Some people have bought into it and they're like, oh my God, put me in a dress. I'm with you. Whereas others are going, no, this makes absolutely no sense. You fucked it up. That is what pisses me off as a history major. History is there to teach you and for you to learn from as not to repeat, not to be judged and changed. And that's exactly what they want to do. They want you to forget. June Wong with a $5 Australian super chat. What is up, June Wong? Play. Ant, come hither, young Luke. It is time for the harvest. Luke, I bemoan these moisture farm chores. Power converters I seek from Station Tasha. Yes, Tashi Station. That's right. Play. Come hither, young Luke. It is time for harvest. I bemoan these moisture farm chores. Power converters I see from Station Tashi. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, June Wong, for your $5 super chat, brother. You guys keep the fires burning bright here on Valhalla, and this one is just for you, my friend. Skull!
Long live the fighters!
Snags and Friends, good show as always. Got to head into the gym now. Skull and Tuck and Roll. Skull and Tuck and Roll, guys. If you haven't subscribed to Snacks and Friends, he's one of those crazy goblins that hangs out over at Snow Dubs, and he's got his own channel. So go and subscribe, ring that bell, check him out, watch his content. The little green meanie is in another world, guys. Thank you so much, Snacks, for coming and hanging out this morning. That is why I pay attention what HW puts out. Pay attention to these scenes, movies. Some are subtle, but that's how they usher in their world. It's programming. The audience go and accept that vision. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I am your father. And all the little kids are like, no. Yeah, dude. Absolutely awesome. Absolutely freaking awesome. Did you write that one? He's like, yeah, kid. Yeah, I did. The Black Knight. It's his father. Yes. They judge and change in ignorance of the inherent value of meaning of all of humanity's previous follies because they don't like it. There is no valid reason to change history unless you want people to forget. And that's what they want. That is what they want. They want people to forget. They want people to forget because they can't inspire and entertain like they could then. They can't bring joy to the masses. They want you to accept that only what they have given you exists. They want you to believe this is the way and the only way you can go, that there is no other way, that there was never another way, that only their way is the right way. You have to find your own way. One of the things that I loved, that I always loved about Star Trek was that you found your own shit when you were watching Star Trek. There are things and ideas and conclusions that you came to that were yours. Some people might have felt the same way. Some people might have felt different. Didn't make it wrong. It never made it wrong. It was your interpretation of what happened. It was your interpretations of the scenes put before you. And now they want to change it because they don't like where that interpretation leaves you. And they don't like the fact that they didn't make you drink. They just led you to the pool. They led you to the water. Star Trek, Star Wars, all of it was never about get your head down there and drink, bitch. This is the way things have to be. It was about coming to those conclusions and seeing that for yourself and opening your eyes to ideas that you may never have had before. Or the arrogance to believe that their generation is going to be the very best because they sit on their ass and look at TikTok all fucking day. And to be compared to anything that came before is too painful for their fragile little ego. You know how many of these little shits didn't pay rent during the coup because they felt they were entitled to all their money and they shouldn't have to pay rent? You know how many of them worked, continued to work, and they had the money to pay it, but they didn't because they didn't have to. And they believed they shouldn't have had to. They abused a system put in place to help people that were going through a horrible situation because they cut us off at the knees and they did it on purpose. They signed us up for shit we should have never had to do in the first place. They signed us up to get a jab that we should have never had to take. Why do you say that, Loki? Why do you say it like that? Because they knew that they had less than a year to make something out of nothing. And it takes years to build vaccines. It takes years of research and work and testing before it is ready. And they did it in less than a year. They knew there were problems. And they signed NDAs. Fucking people signed NDAs so that they could come out with that shit and not be called out about it. Non-disclosure agreements by the government signed. Can't say anything about it, even if you know. Why do you think they passed on so much of it? Why do you think they themselves got a pass and didn't have to take it? Why do you think that happened? Because they knew. They had to push a message, and they had to push this idea that if you got this thing, you could go out and do whatever you wanted to again. And then people realize I've still got to wear a damn face diaper. I've still got to go out and do this. I've still got to go out and act like nothing's changed. I still can't have family over for Thanksgiving or Christmas or blah, 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 blah. So people just got tired of it and said, screw it. We're not dealing with this anymore. They pushed it too far, just like they're pushing this too far. And it's up to you and it's up to others to stand up and to say, I'm not going to deal with this shit and I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to have finger pointed at me and called an Istanobin Yahtzee because I believe that my border and the state that I live in should be protected. And thousands of people shouldn't be constantly crossing each day just getting a free pass. Just getting a free pass. Hey, we'll put you on a bus and we'll send you here. Oh yeah, you're fine. We'll give you thousands of dollars. We'll give you a phone. We'll give you all these things we can't give the residents that live in this country already. We'll give you all this shit. And we'll just give it to you. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about working. You don't have to worry about contributing. You don't have to worry about any of this. We'll just give you thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars and immediately say you can get a license, you can get food stamps, you can get this, you can get a new Escalade, you can get all this shit. When the people that lived here that have busted their ass and working hard, they don't have any of that shit. You want to know where the American dream's gone? It's gone into feeding a system of government that doesn't work. And they're trying to use all this bullshit to say it does and that we're better. And that we're better. C is for cookie or controlling all of us. C is for cookie. That's right. Punk waddle. More razor wire. I want our borders protected. I want our borders protected. It's that simple. It's that simple. There's all kinds of shit that's happening right now, and it's crazy, and the world's going fucking insane. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Every time I open my phone or turn on the TV, it's this person's bad, this person's the greatest. There was an article saying that inflation, we are not under inflation, that we've got the best economy America's ever seen, and that people that say that we're in a bad position are just Yahtzees, ists, obes, and Yahtzees that want to vote for the right. You notice how they call it the right, like it's some Zihio club. We're in the best position America's ever been in. What the fuck are you smoking? I mean, admit it. What? How many lines did you do when you woke up this morning and you wrote that shit? What are you smoking for you to get up in the morning and write that? That way, they have a way to go, see, there wasn't anything wrong. We did the best. We were doing the best. This was the best president. Everyone loved him. Everyone backed him. He was good old Joe. And they'll erase all the shit of him smelling kids' hairs. That is the most fucked up thing when you see that motherfucker walk up to somebody and go, and his eyes roll back and you're like, did you just blow a fucking load in your diaper, you old fuck? I couldn't imagine being one of his handlers. I couldn't imagine that. Yeah, Big J is smelling a girl's hair. Alert, alert. Make sure that's clipped. Big J is smelling a little girl's hair. Could you imagine if he did it to a boy? And his eyes roll back and you're like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? What the fuck is wrong with him? You've got a guy who's the fucking CEO of a company that was shitting on a girl's head. We just found that out last week. He scatted a girl's head. What the fuck is up with that? You dirty 80-year-old man. Why would you do that? Yeah, this'll teach her. God help me. What is wrong with you? And you got old man Joe. And you're like, yeah. But you know what? It's the greatest guy. It's the greatest guy we've ever had. It's the greatest guy we've ever had. What fucking world are you living in? What reality did you come from? Darth Arlena says, bullshit. There's only one thing I know beyond any shadow of a doubt. is that even though I made less money, I had more money in my pocket under Trump than I ever had under Joe. And I make a lot. She makes a lot. Grumpy old Marine bet locally, that boils down to my favorite quote from Lincoln. You can fool all the time and all the people some of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all the time. People are done being fooled. It's that simple. It's that simple. Guys, we got Machini coming up after this. Make sure that you are ready when we send the chat over. What is up? Good morning, my friend. That is the reality of where we are today. Revisionists. And you know what? Kevin Smith is a revisionist. Kathleen Kennedy, Bob Iger, and all those fucks over at Disney that have something to do with what is going on right now with Star Wars, they are revisionists. The revisionists are trying to rewrite everything so that they look great and they look like they're victims. And you're not. You look like evil, bad people. This is why Mexican Iron Man and I like to talk about being, it's that bad Loki. It's the mean Loki that will crap all over your aspirations of what you want to do. It's that mean old Loki. He's horrible for not doing everything you want him to do for your channel. You know what? There's a lot of love out there. There's a lot of love out there for Snowdub, for Backtube, for Arwen and Arlena, for Shellback. So many good creators. Clobbering Times. So many wonderful people. Culture Casino. This is why the I blame Loki shit's there. Yes. Hashtag blame Loki. It's all my fault. It's all my fault. The people who are rewriting history, the people that lie to you, the people that act like it never happened, that, to me, that's the worst fucking sin you can do, is sit there and lie to people, treat them like shit, and then turn around and act like it didn't happen. I'll just erase it and it'll be gone. I lied to everyone and I'm a complete shitbag, but I'll just go back and erase it, and suddenly no one knows I ever did it. Hashtag we remember, you classless fucks. All of you. Every single one of you that have tried to do this shit. We remember. We don't forget. And long after we're gone and we pass our collections, we passed our physical media down, we passed it to that next generation, they'll know too. And then they'll know. And they'll pass it down because they love it, just like we love it. And then they'll pass it down, and they'll pass it down after that, and after that, and after that. And eventually, no matter how long it fucking takes, they're going to go back and go, this is the way it really was. And this is what we've got to look at and accept. Does anybody remember how pissed Cisco got on that holodeck episode where they go and they like help Vic Fontaine out? Does anybody remember that? You know why? Do you know why he got so pissed? Do you know why he got so upset? Do you know why he was like, fucking, I ain't going in there and I ain't doing shit to help them? Because they changed the way it was. They made it look all happy and giddy and everyone's fine and did it. And that's not the way it was. And eventually he was like, you know what? I'm going to go in and I'm going to enjoy myself. And I'm going to do this because blah, blah, blah. But he had a point. It's not the way it was. They tried to wash over what happened. They tried to wash over what things were really like. And eventually it comes out. Eventually it comes out and it hits you right in the fucking face. And people will know. People will remember because we're going to pass it down generation by generation if we have to, because they're not going to win. And all the trouble they went through and all the money they spent and how they bankrupted their businesses and how fucking Hasbro's selling D&D, all that is their own fault. They lost it. They lost it because of DEI and bullshit and wokeness. because they lost sight of what it meant in the first place. And as fans of the IP, as fans, as people who loved it, we never did. Maybe it'll go to a new home and it'll be a better home. I hope when Paramount sells and all this shit happens, Star Trek goes to a better home, to people that care about it and people that love it. That's why people love that Axanar short. That's why people love that shit. No matter what problem you have with Alec, and I know people have plenty of problems with Alec, they loved what they were doing and they cared about what they were doing. They loved the IP. Maybe one day we can get back to that. Guys, we will be back tonight, apparently. I think Adega said that earlier. So we will be back tonight for 7 Kinds of Mischief. And we will be back tomorrow for the weekend review with Arwen and Dave Bob. Until then, guys, take care. Be excellent to each other. Always speak friend to enter. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great Thursday, everybody.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.